Welcome to the USF 2000 AI League Season 4. We're starting the season off here at Homestead Miami Speedway. We got 23 cars ready to start the season, 25 races, so let's see if they can get off to a good start. Some of these drivers, some of their names may be recognizable, but some probably aren't. Beijing Beef. Have you heard of them? Probably not, because he's a new driver, new to the series. And then you see other ones, like the guy right in front of him, David Bialois, Season 1 champion, coming back. Him and Beijing Beef probably going to draft together down the backstretch. Around 3 and 4. As Tetsu, new driver, My Hero Macadamia fan, or whatever, uh, decided on that team name, trying to get the colors to show up. Trying to get the colors to show up as they should. I was having a little bit of technical difficulties, so this race got pushed back a bit. But as we see right now, Wine Silly Man is currently on the pole with a 36.951, only 9 thousandths faster than Tetsu, who is in the 9. New drivers, but the people that own these cars, they're not very new. They've been around for a few seasons. There we go, it fixed itself. See some cars going around the track right now as John Panini in the 50 right on the outside has taken the top spot by 1,000th over Wine Silly Man. It's very close. Currently only 20 cars have set a time. Yeah, again, if you've watched this or the Endurance AI Championship, some of these names are familiar, one being Spencer Alfredo, who has returned after he just came back off a Endurance AI Championship. A little group of cars going down the backstretch right now. We got about 4 minutes left in qualifying. Spencer Alfredo pulls off as his teammate Phil Slow, who was with him in the Endurance AI Championship, is right there behind. There we go. There's your qualifying standings right there. All 23 cars have set a time as of now. As we see Gus Fringe and Phil Slow come off. Gus Fringe is a Breaking Bad character. Someone basically did their whole team Breaking Bad characters. A lot of people kind of followed themes. Like, one is the Italian mob with the father and the son, currently ranked 5th and 6th in qualifying. No one is on track is currently looking to improve their time as of now. Most people just kind of staying where they're at. I don't think there's really a lot of cars to really show. As the 9 is on an improving lap, but he is currently on the outside of the 51 of Max Cole, both two rookies this season. A lot of the people are rookies, ones that we have seen before in just this series. I think the only ones are Spencer Alfredo and David Bialois. Oh, we have seen Chad Broski before. And then there are some drivers that have moved over from the Endurance AI Championship, as we see David Bialois go up to 11th. Drivers we saw in the Endurance AI Championship have came over. Phil Slow, who is currently sitting in pit road. Another one is Spring Roll. Yeah, we saw Spring Roll last season. We also saw Mahavir Raghunathan, currently 23rd, hasn't gotten a good draft. This track, it's all about drafting. Time's almost up. Gotta pick up the speed. Phil Slow drafting the 83, but he's got to get back to the line to be able to do another lap. Yeah, there's just not a lot of cars currently on track to really see where people are. As we see a couple improvements, we see Mahavir Raghunathan, uh, Kirishima. I don't know how to pronounce the first name. I'm not an anime fan or whatever that series is. Sorry. Um, all 23 cars have set a lap time. Phil Slow, currently P1. Doesn't look like anyone's trying to really contest him right now. We see Spencer Alfredo got pretty close. Same with Kirishima, but both were just too far out. There's just not a lot of improvements happening around the track. People are finishing their lap, coming into the pits. Yeah, look at how much the 83 checked up. Um, just to enter pit road. So Phil Slow already going to be starting in the first race of the season on pole position. Pole position is really important. The front row is really good at these ovals. So most of everyone has came into the pits. We're just waiting for a couple more cars. Phil Slow pulls off. So he's going to be starting alongside Tetsu on the front row. I feel like this race is going to have a lot of chaos. Homestead usually produces a lot of crashes, especially at the start. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of contact. As now, here we go. Here is your starting lineup. We see on the front row, Phil Slow starting alongside Tetsu Tetsu. And then in row 2 is John Panini in Wine Silly Man. I don't know why I said it like that. Um, and then row 3, we see uh, Susa Samogus from Wome as, yeah, okay. You get the joke. Just pretend you get the joke. And then Spencer Alfredo, coming back. He was in season 2, finished the season in 4th, I believe. And then in row 4 we have the father and OxyClean. You know, the names of the season, they aren't the best, but I've seen way worse, so we'll go with it. Row 5 we see the son. The father and the son, their team is called the Italian Mob. And then Max Cold, and then one of my favorite video game characters, Mayor Borowski, starring alongside Season 1 champ, David Bialois. And then we go back to row 7. We see Jacques Croissant and Chris, starring alongside each other. So far, everyone was under half a second from first place in qualifying. Now we start to gain over half a second. In row 8, we see Mahavir Raghunathan and I am not confident with that name. If someone knows how to pronounce it, say it in the comments, because I don't know. Row 9, we have Spring Roll, returning from a pretty good Endurance AI Championship. Every race he finished inside the top 10. Let's see if he can do it this season. And then Missing Sock, teammate to OxyClean, because of course. Go back to row 10, and we see Beijing Beef and Chad Broski. Chad Broski joined late in season 3 and got a win at Lime Rock. And in row 11, we see teammates Saul Goodman and Gus Fringe, two Breaking Bad characters, and then rounding out the field, Eliza Doe, who was pretty good in the testing, so don't know why she's starting that far back. We take a look at your race info. The Miami 100, race 1 out of 25. I don't know why. It always, for some reason, goes to kilometers Celsius. Thank you, iRacing. I really, well, thank you. I'm trying to fix it. Here, give me a quick second. I know how to fix it very fast now. Did that fix it? No? Dang. Maybe you'll fix next time. And then previous winners, Dylan Pettigrew won in season 1. He now owns the team that Chris is on. Salt Walfer, the team owner, has not returned. And then Bob McFarland, the team owner, has returned with Wine Silliman and Jacques Croissant. So, yeah, a lot of these drivers have returned, but none of the team owners have really found the perfect balance of what they should do for their cars. Um, we got we got about a minute until the cars roll off. So if I had to make a prediction on who I think would win the race, I'm trying to think of who was good at the oval test. We did an oval test at Talladega, and I think Tetsu Tetsu was the best car, so I think that number 9 is going to be someone to watch out for. Yeah, Phil Slow and Spencer Alfredo, their team boss, has been around since season 1. Their name has changed a lot over the seasons. Uh, well, driver changes, Spencer Paisley, Spencer Alfredo, Alfredo Saucy. And then they did Phil Slow and Spencer Alfredo last season and got him a couple wins. But in UAL, the team boss only has one win ever, and that was with Spencer Alfredo, season 2 at Sebring. So it's been a while since they've gotten a win. I feel like this race, yes, there's going to be a lot of passing, but I do feel like a good amount of it will be good wreck avoidance. You do not want to be caught up in an early collision, because that will already start your season on a bad start, but luckily you can easily get back up. I don't know why the sound on the desktop hasn't been playing. I just saw it now. Oh, I probably know why, because it's not connected to my headphones, so you're not hearing any of the cars, except for my voice. Absolutely great. Pace car is about to pull off. We have Spencer Alfredo. Not Spencer Alfredo, Phil Slow, getting ready to make his first start in UAL. Pace car will pull off. Here we go. USF 2000 AI League Season 4 is now underway. Phil Slow leads us down. Everyone bunching up together. It's going to be pack racing all the way around. A couple guys have already gained positions. Almost the whole field covered by a second. Oh, there's contact in the back. I saw a car get, like, got some air back there. Got a couple cars behind. I saw the 99 of Beijing Beef got a little bit of air. As we see up here, some good close racing. As a couple guys have already made contact, as the race has barely started, it's 67 laps. Wine Silliman is already on the top. Tetsu dropped back to 9th at the start. A little bit of bumping and banging at the back of the field. They're losing the top group. If we look at the track map, you see a group of cars a little bit farther back. That is Saul Goodman, Eliza Doe, Chad Broski, and Beijing Beef already off the back. Spring Roll gets the fastest lap with a 36.790. As we are back onto the backstretch, already for 2 laps completed, and then we're working on the third one right now. Free wide in the back. Missing sock looks like he got a little bit squeezed as he's gonna make contact with the father, not letting go of each other until they got to the turn. They were bumping. I saw some sparks. Spencer Alfredo turned the fastest lap right there. He's currently on the outside. Wine Silliman trying to work that outside. I'm seeing some big movers already. Missing Sock up 10 positions. Then Tetsu all the way back in 17th. Fell way behind the leaders. The bottom 4, they're starting to catch up. All it takes is one crash and they'll already be back in it. Seems like, as usual, the outside on these 1.5 Sussus Amogus coming out of nowhere as there goes Silly Man. OxyClean goes around as well. A lot of cars stack up behind. Let's go back and see what happened. I don't know if anyone of the cars. So there was some bumping between John Panini, I believe, as that sent Wine Silliman and OxyClean around right at the start. Let's play it back again. So let's see what happened here. So, um, Favre kind of came up, hit OxyClean, and then John Panini just drifted up. Wine Silly Man starting to spin around, tries to save it. Big hit with OxyClean. V87 is along for the ride. I saw Sussus Amogus was working that outside pretty well, and then boom into the wall. That's already going to put him behind in his first start. It seems like a lot of the cars that got stacked up ran into each other, which is not good at all. Yeah, a lot of the cars got stacked up. So that is OxyClean, Wine Silly Man. Those were the main ones in the crash. Then involved in the stack up, we have Chris, Missing Sock, May Borowski, Springroll, Mahavir, Gunathan. That is 3 whole teams already having their drivers eliminated just at the start. Ragunathan Racing with 20 and 17. Um, Laundry Boys with the 87 and 42. And then the Silly Snorters with the 0. So already down to 16. I'm gonna have to see if these cars make pit stops this time. It does not look like they'll do that, because we've got a long race. I'd say maybe expect pit stops around lap 50 or so. A lot of these cars now jumping to pit road. Now just trying to get some repairs. As a lot of them have already left pit road, just they'll be 2 laps down. Luckily, you can make that up. Yeah, all of them except for Silly Man and OxyClean were able to just get some quick repairs and are already back out. Gonna have to see if their pace was affected. They got up pretty quick, or unless they're already behind. So gonna be 2 laps down. I just try and get to the front, hope for a yellow, and then maybe get a wave around. Basically, you're just gonna have to try and get to the front and try and be ahead. So normally you would expect crashes in the middle of the pack, but no, they crashed at the very front. And if you wanted to know how to identify whether we're going green, check the pace car, and if there's still lights on it, that means we're still under yellow. It looks like this will be the last lap under yellow because the lights on the pace car have gone off. So those guys off the back, they all caught up. Well, at least I think the 3 that were, 3 of them caught up. I don't know if all 4, I think maybe all 4, but I don't know if Springroll was in that group because he was involved in the crash. So a 7-car crash to start out the race. The main 2 involved were Silly Man and OxyClean. Here we go, starting to pick up speed a bit. You could hear, oh no, I forgot that you guys can't hear, but the cars rev up a bit. Pace car pulls off. As green flag is back out, let's try it again. Feel slow, John Panini, Sussa Samogus, Vafaver, and David Bialois are your top 5 right now. Biggest mover, Gus Fringe, up 13 positions since the start. Some guys already trying to pop to the outside. Sussasamogus, first car on the outside. There's a little bit of a divide in the field, but I think they're starting to merge together. It was right around Chad Broski, back in about the 14th spot. Sussasamogus starting to pull ahead in the turn as, oh, they make contact! There goes Phil Slow upside down. A single car accident this time. What happened here? So, this was all on Sussasamogus. Just absolutely came down. Phil Slow was pushed, lost control, and just the speed flipped him over. I didn't expect for another yellow to happen so quickly. So let's go on board for this. Wow. And then the camera just cuts out because he stayed upside down. So we are already back under yellow with David Bialois now in the lead. So the front has had two pretty big accidents so far. David Bialois, Sussasamogus, Max Colt, Gus Fringe now up 18 spots, and then Jacques Croissant in 5th. So it's just been a crazy start so far. I did not... That was probably the most unexpected flip I'd ever seen. And it was the first flip of the season. So we've had one big one, and then just kind of a little bit of bumping. You see the damage on the side of Sussasamogus. Just absolutely murdered the 07. I guess that goes with his name. Okay. I'm in pain. So a couple cars at the back are just getting a little bit more repairs. I mean, they're not going to drop too many positions. Phil Slow's going to drop to the back. It doesn't look like he had really much damage besides that. It seems like Wine Silly Man is actually back on track. Let's see if we... Yeah, he's on track. At the tail end of the field, and his car looks actually very well repaired. So good on that 46 team. Spring Roll and Chris have already caught back up. They're 20th and 19th. So David Bialois, Season 1 champ, is now leading in the first race of Season 4. Could this be another championship? He'd be the first driver to win it twice. His teammate Eliza Doe is currently back in 13th. Not as great. Sussasamogus is a single car team. Max Cold is teammates with John Panini. You can see him in the back. Very similar looking cars, so easy to tell who they are. Gus Fringe's teammate is Saul Goodman, back in 14th. And then Jack Croissant, his teammate is Wine Silly Man in 22nd, so he's not really going to get a lot of help from his teammate. Max Cold and John Panini, could they win it for Team YouTube? Currently, they are the second best team so far. The best would be Team RAS with Sussasamogus. Here we go. Pace car lights are off as it will drop below the white line. And we are back underway. Let's see if we can actually get going this time. Both times Sussus Amogus has tried to work on the high side, moving towards the front. They've both ended pretty hideously. As David Bialois leads into 1 and 2. He's got Max Cold right behind him. A divide in the middle of the field, some cars dropping off the pace. As here we go, this was where Phil Slow crashed not too long ago. This time they're clean through it. Oh, it's going to be close to see who leads the lap. It was Sussus Amogus, now into P1, working that high side. As now David Bialois is back to the lead. So while these guys at the front, their fuel's going down the most, because the other guys, just to match their speed, they need to lift off a bit more, because they're going to get a draft from the front. About 50 laps to go, which was the original length of the races at half miles, including Homestead. As we see the two Team YouTube cars in that second row, but John Panini's going to try and go to the outside, but he may accidentally surrender his position to Chad Broski. Luckily, Broski did not really go for it. A lot of red cars at the front. So here we go down the front stretch. I think Sussus Amogus may have led that lap again. A lot of really fast cars. It's mainly 2 lanes, but you can kind of see a 3rd lane that John Panini has dropped back, trying to probably conserve some fuel. Top 15 all within a second, as there we go. We have a car off, but he pulls below the white line as it will stay green. Max Cold goes around, but no caution. But that divided the field, as Max Cold has left pit lane and is trying to come back, but the field absolutely split up. Whoa, look at how far apart these cars are. You see the main group starts at about P7. They're going to probably start to scoop up some of these cars that got ahead. But now there's a lead group, and they're probably going to break away. May Borowski sets the fastest lap at a 36.008. So now we got a lead group right here. I'm not quite sure how many cars there are, because I think 2 of them are a lap down. But it is David Bialois, Sussus Amogus, Jack Croissant, Eliza Doe, May Borowski, Chad Broski. So I'd say about 8 cars. 8 cars, all lined up 2 by 2, and they've absolutely broke away from the field. Maybe we'll see less crashes. Eliza Doe pops out onto the outside. We see Chris trying to go with, as we have another car around. It is David Bialois. He holds on to it and will keep going. Oh, don't get hit. Whew. I thought he was about to get hit by another car. That would have been very scary. What happened here? And then if we can go back, I'm going to try and see what happened. Ah, crap, I forgot. I accidentally hit the wrong button. So let's see if we can see from this camera angle. Was there any bumping? Samogus again knocking the competition off the road, lost control, spun around. Luckily, no one hit him, so he'll be able to keep going. He may just need some new tires, probably a new pair of underwear. But he has got back going again. He is now down in 14th. The field's going to be merged together again. That is, I believe, our third caution. Max Cold managed to stay on the lead lap. So let's see if we can see what happened here. Chopper's very useful. About here's where it would have been triggered. Was it? It was Chad Broski this time. Uh, Seems like may have cut down the tire or something. Just got him loose. He bumps into Samogus, and then the field has to check up. He goes around, but does not bring out a yellow because he went below. He is now down in 15th. Samogus is your leader. I don't know if they're going to do pit stops right now. Couple cars in the back come in. Missing Sock comes in. He is 19th. Involved in that opening lap incident. Now maybe with all these cautions, the guys at the front will be able to conserve some fuel. So two very identical looking cars are up at the front of Sasa Samogus and Chad Broski. I just realized that, but maybe because of all these yellows, the cars will kind of be able to just conserve some more fuel. Eliza Doe, your biggest mover, up 20 spots. Biggest loser would be Phil Slow, down 20. And if you count only the 15 on the lead lap, biggest loser would be Spencer Alfredo, down 7. I don't know if we're going green this. No, we're not going green this time. But let's see what the pace car says after we hit the line. May Borowski comes into pit. She's currently in 16th. She'll probably drop down to about 20th. Yeah, a lot of the cars at the back, they're probably upset because their season didn't start how they wanted it to. But luckily, it's only the first race. It's a 25 race season. You're definitely not gonna be out of it just because of one bad race. 2 bad races, probably not. 3 bad races, maybe. 4 is when you start getting into the like, okay, that seriously affects your season. Previous champ, Jack Daniels, I know didn't really do too hot on the ovals, as the lights on the pace car are off, so we are about to get going again. Amogus, Broski, Doe, Croissant, and Goodman are your top 5. Pace car pulls off, and we are back underway. Sussus Amogus leads us back to green. Chad Broski trying to go around the outside, but he may have just surrendered his position to Eliza Doe. All cars charging down the back straightaway. Chad Broski just barely led that lap. This could be a very close finish if it goes how it is right now. But usually by the end it's not as close. It's just these laps in the middle. Bonus points for leading a lap and then 2 bonus points from leading the most laps. No attack from the outside this lap, but he's going to draft up alongside Amogus leads that lap. Maborowski sets the fastest lap to immediately be passed by Missing Sock with a 35.859. Maborowski, she pitted, but is already up to 16th. Definitely one of the fastest cars out there. Through 3 and 4, now back onto the front stretch. Some cars in the back getting a little squirrely, but it's okay. They're all still alive. Eliza Doe trying to go from last to first. All cars are currently on track, even guys like OxyClean. They're in the middle of the pack. Just trying to turn some laps, hoping more carnage happens so they can earn more positions. Chad Broski will just lead that lap. Jacques Cresson in fourth. His team won last season as, oh, we've got a car in the wall. That is Mahavir Raghunathan, as there is no yellow flag, finally there's a yellow flag. What happened here? Mahavir Raghunathan and Karishima. I'm just gonna ignore trying to say that name. Let's see if we can see it at normal speed. Oh, it just seems like he had contact with David Bailois. Big hit on the outside. That was a very hard hit. So, may have even had some contact with Spencer Alfredo, but I think this one's on Mahavir. He came down, got loose, big hit, almost head on, both cars up in the air. So here's the onboard. Oh, big hit. Both of their days are definitely done, as we've got pit stops going on right now. It's going to be very important. Who is currently... Sussus Amogus pulls out with a 7.4. Is anyone faster? Seems like no. He will stay in the lead with a very good pit stop, a 7.4. The closest pit stop out of the guys that actually pitted this time was Tetsu Tetsu with a 6.7. Now, a lot of the guys that are lapped down will be able to gain their positions back. So May Borowski, currently at the head, will only be 1 lap down now. Missing sock, 1 lap. Yeah, everyone's just trying to regain their laps. As some of them pull in before they even get the wave around from the pace car. Why would you do that? So a lot of them have just given up their free lap, except for Maborowski and Missing Sock. I don't know why they did that, but okay, they'll stay 2 laps down. So, top 5 now after pit stops is Amogus, Doe, Tetsu, Broski, and Croissant. Who had the slowest pit stop out of the main top 15? Or top 14 it is really now. A 15-second pit stop from Beijing Beef, that is not very good. We see a couple 12-second from the Favre and Max Cold that got dropped to the back. Well, Max Cold was already pretty much in the back. Borowski and Missing Sock are going to get the wave around from the pace car, as we'll be going green next time. Kirishima and Ragunathan, both in pit lane trying to get repairs, even though their days are pretty much already over. We're about halfway. We've had several crashes. A couple big ones, a couple little less big ones. Some spins, some big hits, even a flip. That driver's in 19th, only 3 laps down. So pace car about to pull off. Amoga's gonna lead us back to green. As there goes the pace car, starting to pick up speed. Green flag is back out. We are back underway here at Homestead. Pit stops are done with. I don't know if they'll need to pit again later just because of how when they pitted. Tetsu working that inside goes right by Eliza Doe as Jacques Croissant way up on the high side. Into turns 3 and 4. All cars trying to stay alive. 14 cars on the lead lap. 15 and 16 are only 1 lap down. 17 and 18 are 2 laps down. 19 is 3 laps down. 20th and 21st are 5 laps down. 22nd is 7 laps down. And 23rd is 9 laps down. Some guys way up on the high side, trying to make it work. Eliza Doe, again, just still trying to go from last to first. Draws even, heading into turn 1. Sussex Amogus will get the advantage through the turns, but Eliza Doe will get the advantage on the back straightaway. Look at all the cars very close together. The 15 trying to pull alongside, but it's just not going as planned. Gonna get a good amount of speed. Down into turn 1, Amogus will get the advantage again. But she's actually gonna stay pretty close with him through the turn, so she'll get a big advantage on the backstretch. But I don't think it'll be enough to clear him. You see the 60 and the 83 back there. Both look like cars of the previous champion, Jack Daniels, because it is the previous champion's team. So if they're just trying to be competitive, trying to have a good season, and they're right where they need to be in 5th and 7th. Down the backstretch, Eliza Doe now into the lead. This is how fast they're going right now, about 143, 144 through the turns. .146, 147. Eliza Doe gotta try and find some speed on the straightaway to draw even. And try and be able to get the win from the outside lane. It is possible. It's been done before. 4 wide in the back. I think that was Silly Man, the father, the son, and I believe Max Cold. I think John Panini was a little bit farther back. The 4 wide worked. I think everyone's just trying to settle into a groove now, but a crash can always happen, especially when you least expect it. Eliza Doe is just not carrying the same speed that Sussus Amogus had on the outside. As look who's already up at the front, May Borowski, a lap down, just went to the back after getting a lap back, and is now just pushed Eliza Doe up on the outside. So if the caution comes out and May Borowski's in the lead, she'll be back onto the lead lap. What a pass. Is almost 4 wide. This isn't going to go well. Staying alive. May Borowski not pulling the speed that she needs, as now Tetsu is going to go to the outside as Goodman and Fringe go to 3rd and 4th. Down the back straightaway, the 9 was my pick at the start of the race. Will he be able to win? He's got Silly Man right behind him, who was in the opening lap crash, who is currently down in 20th, but he's going to back out of the way, as now both of the leaders are going to be backed by 2 teammates. Look at all those cars, a lot of colors right there. As there's contact up at the front. Tetsu bumped into Sussus Amogus. He may actually get a run down the back straightaway, as there's more contact as Tetsu clears Sussus Amogus, as here comes Fringe on the outside. There was a lot of contact happen right there, as I see some damage on Chad Broski's car. I think it got blown away, but there was a piece or something on his car. Something was sticking up. Tetsu now into the lead, getting followed by Amogus. Liza Doe is right behind Fringe. We have gone several good laps without an incident as, oh, here comes lap traffic. Here comes trouble. How will they deal with it? They're going to meet in the turns. The 9's going to get stacked up as there goes the 83 around the outside. Gotta try and get by him, but the 9 can't get by just yet. The leaders may even try to escape. The 83 breaking away with the 07 of Phil Slow, who is down in 19th. But I think here comes Tetsu coming right back, already catching. The 9 looking like he wants to try and make a move on the inside. He's got another lapped car right in the way. There's a bunch of lapped cars in the way. If you look just at the top, there's Phil Slow, OxyClean, Missing Sock, May Borowski, Mahavir Gunafin, and Wine Silly Man, all right up there, and they are all lap traffic, as a lot of cars have fallen off the back. Most of this group is just lap traffic. There's, I think, about 7 legitimate cars in this top group. That would be Fringe, Tetsu, Sussus Amogus, the Fathers, Goodman, Broski, and Croissant. As now the 83s on the outside got pushed out by Tetsu, who's now going to go for back into the lead. We see a little pack behind. Now I don't know where the 4 is, as they are lap traffic. The 14 fell way behind with that lap car. So he's hoping for a yellow, which could happen at any second. We have about 18 to go. As, oh, there's bumping in the back. I saw the Father and Mahavir Gunafin make contact, as Fringe will lead that lap just by a little bit. May Borowski almost tries to go to the inside. A lot of passing for the lead. The 9 is trying to stay ahead of the 83, but the 83 is going to get the run on the straightaway. Everyone's caught up to each other now. Tetsu has Borowski right behind. Fringe has Missing Sock. Fringe is trying to get his teammate to come up with him. We see Goodman on the top, currently in 4th, now up to 3rd. Fringe now faster on the straightaway. But then Tetsu gets him in the turns. Down the straightaway, Tetsu just leads that lap. '83 right ahead of the 9. And then again, the 9 takes the lead in the turns. But 20 just wants her lap back. If she was on the lead lap, she would be 3rd right now. Lot of passing up at the front. Fringe is your biggest mover so far, up 20 spots. Eliza Doe, who was up there earlier, is now down in 13th at the tail end of this group. It's gonna be close on who gets the win. Hopefully it does not end under yellow, as Fringe may have just got pushed out by Missing Sock. Oh, that's not what he wanted. As now Missing Sock would move into the second position if he was on the lead lap. He's not even on the lead lap. The father's got to try and get up there, because this would be his shot to try and take the lead. As, oh, we've got a car around! Big crash! Ragunafin, Fringe, Goodman, both of those blue cars got taken out, as we have a big one. What happened here? See if we can see it in normal speed of 0. Just misjudged the 17, and it was a big chain reaction. I don't know if that was a Mogus, or I think it was a Mogus who was involved as well. Big accident, a lot of cars. Let's see if we can see who exactly was involved. So, 1/4 speed. Gunafin actually kind of came up in the way. Ooh, OxyClean just escaped that one. Made contact with Fringe, and then big hit. That was a Mogus. Broski survived the crash. Phil Slow, as, oh, we have a car upside down. Is that Fringe? Yeah, Fringe upside down. I think David Bialois was involved. As we jump to live, it was Fringe, Amogus, Bialois, Goodman, Slow, and Ragunafin. So 6 cars involved. As now we are down to 11 on the lead lap. Seems like Missing Sock was ahead just in time to get that free pass. So Missing Sock is now a contender again in this race. So he's currently Tetsu, the Father, Croissant, Broski, and then Beijing Beef are your top 5 as of now. All the lead lap cars are gonna go to the front. That was the big one. The one at the start was just more of a pileup. It was kind of brewing. So the 0 kind of actually survived. Don't really see a lot of damage on the car. Probably on the other side is where you'd see a lot of the scrapes from hitting Fringe, and then that sent him upside down. Oh. I don't know what I just did, but that's what I wanted. I turned on the background for colors. It's my style, how I like it. So Tetsu will be bringing us to green next time around. That'll be about 8 to go. So it could be a shootout or it could end with a big crash. Yeah, May Borowski right there in 12th is the only car just one lap down. Got most of her laps back. Yeah, Missing Sock now on the lead lap. He'll be back in 11th. So 11 cars on the lead lap. Tetsu, the Father, Jacques Croissant, Chad Broski, Beijing Beef, Max Cold, Spencer Alfredo, John Panini, Eliza Doe, and then the Sun and Missing Sock. Just a reminder that Max Cold was in an accident earlier. Same with Missing Sock, and they're on the lead lap still. So pace car will pull off. Here we go for an 8-lap shootout. Let's see if they can keep it green the whole way around. Tetsu leads us to green. The Father gonna just try and draft. That could open the door for Jacques Croissant to try and work the outside. Let's see how this works. 45 on the outside, 69 on the inside, but now the 45 is going to pull up alongside Tetsu. Jacques Croissant followed by Beijing Beef, Tetsu followed by the Father. On to the front stretch. Let's see who leads the lap. It'll be Tetsu only by just a little bit. Croissant now in the lead, reaching turn 1. Beijing Beef shoots up high and will get passed by Spencer Alfredo, who's kind of had a very quiet night. Zobrowski got very loose. There's the contact, but they keep it green. The Father came up. There's a lot of damage on his car. He checks up. He's going to be slow, as he'll hold up a lot of the cars. He must have gotten some, like a tire puncture during that. He made contact with Spencer Alfredo, who pushed, I think it was Beijing Beef, up the track. Now these 5 are starting to escape a little bit. The Father lost all momentum. That could have just ended his race, as Croissant is now the leader, coming to 5 to go. 8 cars up here, but they've got lap traffic just up the road. The 83 of Gus Fringe, and I believe that is the 16 of David Bialois, right up there. They're going to meet this lap traffic very soon. Who's going to be able to handle it well? 3 wide for second. Or will they even reach him at all? Spring Roll sets the fastest lap at a 35.588. I don't know if they're going to be catching them. Gonna have to keep an eye out. Beijing Beef on the outside now. He's gonna have to try and go for the win. Spencer Alfredo right there. Tetsu would be getting the first win for the team since Mason Paisley won for the team in Season 2 at Tsukuba. They only have 1 win in this league. The Sun is very close to Goodman, but they keep it clean. There was a lot of bumping I saw. Here we go. Coming to 2 to go. Can they keep it clean? Will there be a wreck trying to go for it? As though they have to stack up because of Phil Slow in the way. Beijing Beef into the lead. Big checkups with 2 to go. Phil Slow was going very slow, as the name suggests. Yellow flag, that will end the race. There's a crash in the back. I'm not... Mahavir Raghunathan has crashed again. And that will end the race this time. Oh, Phil Slow got loose, came up the track and... almost got hit by missing sock. That would have been a bad hit, but that will give the win. Is Tetsu's in the lead? Who is winning? This is the white flag because, yeah, Beijing Beef goes by. Beijing Beef will get the win. That'll be his first ever win, not in just this series, but the team, for the first win for the team in this season and the whole league. Tetsu will come up short due to a slow car spinning as, oh no! Beijing Beef is entering pit road. He's entering pit road. Did he think that's the end? Did he get a penalty? Tetsu wins in bizarre fashion as Beijing Beef. Did he have to give it up? I'm very confused. But Tetsu is your winner, followed by Spencer Alfredo, Max Cold, The Sun, and then Beijing Beef. What? I'm so confused right now. But Tetsu. That's who I predicted, and he ended up winning. I don't know if Beijing Beef got a penalty, thought it was the end or something. He already put it in the garage. I guess his team's just mad. What a confusing ending. Not the ending I would have predicted. So all the cars, including the pace car, now coming into pit road. I guess let's take a look at your finishing results, as bizarre as they seem. So the Miami 100 concludes with Tetsu as your winner, followed by Spencer Alfredo. Max Cold will finish third, the Sun fourth, Jacques Croissant and Beijing Beef. It seems like there's a discrepancy right there. It's unknown who was fifth and who was sixth, but I believe it would be Beijing Beef. Eliza Doe seventh, John Panini eighth, Chad Broski returning, he'll get ninth. Missing Sock 10th. The Father 11th. May Borowski 12th. Saul Goodman 13th. Springroll 14th. Chris 15th. Gus Fringe 16th. 17th for Wine Silly Man. And then David By Lois finishes 18th. And then the second page, we have OxyClean, who was up at the front and then was involved in that big crash at the start. Sussa Samogus dominated the race, but he was involved in a big crash. He finishes 20th. Phil Slow will finish 21st. And then Kirishima 22nd. And then Raghunathan, involved in a lot of issues. He'll finish last in 23rd. So a bizarre end, but overall pretty good race despite all the crashes. That was the season opener. 24 races left to go. season is projected to end in April, so hopefully you'll stick with us all the time. Um, Next race will be at Imola over in Italy, so that's going to be a good race there. A lot of chicanes, a lot of fast parts of the track. Hopefully it'll be less chaotic, and maybe we'll get a really good finish and not a confusing one like this one. But overall, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, uh, and I hope to see you all at Imola.